Hey guys, well today I am at Quaker Oaks Farm. It's between Norland and Aurelia on Highway 45. I've driven past here numerous times and I've never really stopped in, but with the Norland Horticultural Society that I'm part of, they got a little tour going for the day. So we walked around and checked it out, and so I'll be showing you what they do here. They're going to introduce themselves and all that through the rest of the video. So you guys, hope you like it. Don't forget guys, please subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up, and share around to all your friends, and happy gardening.
These are the owners,
Yeah.
Judy and Mark and their son Aiden.
How are you?
I met them years ago when this was had all kinds of animals that we used to save in it.
They still do.
Yeah, we do.
So-
I'll let them take over.
So we're a forever farm. So we don't breed here, or everything that comes here stays here. And I kind of look for the odd animal, the one that has a special needs sort of thing. So we used to have more, but I'm getting older, so I just downsize a little bit for now. Our background is we created Riverdale Farm for the City of Toronto, and we left in '97 when the mega city was starting to happen. So this was our farm. So we moved up from the city to start over again with the children.
So this farm was built in 1890 for the barn, and the house here are from 1890. The drive shed behind you used to be over by the barn, and we picked it up and drove it over here and dropped it on a concrete pad. And it was my workshop for years until she kicked me out to have a kitchen in there. And then my workshop was over there and she kicked me out to have a store for him in there. So my workshop was in the log cabin from 1850. And I've just got kicked out of there because she wants to build a programming space there and an art gallery.
So the log cabin actually came from the long goat farm up the road?
Yeah, we took that cabin apart. It was on the farm up the hill there, and brought it down here and put it back together.
So upstairs is an apartment, but there's no running water or toilets or anything. So the new goal is to make the whole farm a destination. And so the log cabin is going to be a studio and also a programming and workshop space. So I like to support young art, children's art, and so that's the direction I'm going, is to make the farm catering to children and make it more like an art therapy sort of destination. So we're artsing up the farm. The garden we wiped out this year. It was a children's garden last year. We're going to have to wipe it out again because the gourds just took over. Mark used to regrow these gourds called water beetles, and they have warts all over them. And he used to make fairy hotels out of them. So he's getting back into that. So we're both artists as well. We do paper mache, and he does wood carving and soapstone. So I'm actually hoping to do a children's festival where children can come and sell their produce or their art or whatever. That's going to be a long-term goal. So the barn we're artsing up, and so I'm replacing all the lights with Tiffany's and lamps. And
I saw that with the little chandelier. Anybody has any fancy chandeliers to donate?
I have 5 I've collected so far, but they have to be rewired. So I'm on the list of things to do. But I want the barn to be bright and colorful. So usually when kids go into a barn, we found that Riverdale is dark and cold and scared. So when they go in there, I want it to be bright and happy. So we still have a lot of work to do.
The place is always under construction. It's been under construction for 34 years now since we bought it.
So when we moved up here, we didn't want to work for anybody ever again. So that was our garage that was falling down. If we had torn it down, the MTO managed the road at that time, we would have had to build way back. So we decided to build over it. In hindsight, we should have torn it down because now we can't add on to the store.
The store will always be as cute as it is.
So Aiden has just returned to the farm. By profession, he's a glass blower, and he worked out in Vancouver for a number of years. So he returned, and he can tell you his history, but he interned at probably the top 2 organic farms in Ontario. They're also Quaker family friends of ours. And one of the families, I sell her meat. I'm vegetarian, but we want to educate people where their food comes from. So I get a lot of flack from vegans because how can I run a sanctuary and then serve meat sandwiches and sell meat? But my thing is eliminate factory farming, and you should know where your food comes from, especially meat. And I know how the McQuails look after their animals, and they only raise enough animals to their customer base. And when they're sent to the arbitrage, it's just down the road. So it's a one-day thing, and I think that's better than factory farms. And I know how she looks after it, and if something's ill, she deals with it. Even comes into her house. She has a pig living in her house right now, so it's ethically raised animals. It was like Jurassic Park. Oh, cool. It was so cool.
I made a mistake. Trying to get my studio.
I know, it's like this never ending.
I know.
Especially when we're working, we find that we just don't
hide here. Touching. Can you call me? Don't go inside, please.
Well, I'm looking at
Because
pictures of 20
we're
years
not
ago,
invited
and I'm gonna
inside,
have
so
to
we need to
redo again now, and I didn't even finish the whole thing.
So it's still in this rough shape. So we're still clearing up, but Mark is starting to Canada and do some workshops. So hopefully the mother and her daughter, they're probably behind.
No, they're out in the grass.
They're out in the grass, and then I have a Clydesdale workhorse, and then a standardbred retired racehorse.
Where are they now?
I think they're out.
I'm doing a rotational grazing system, so they're right now on the grass that they first had at the beginning of the summer.
Right.
So I'm sort of backing up onto my rotation right now. So they're out back cleaning up some of the canary grass that I don't want getting too out of hand. So unfortunately, it means that they're all the way back there. You can't see them.
Maybe I could.
I
can see them right here.
Geese right in the very back down there walking in the grass. It looks like something's down there.
It'd be either turkeys.
Grab the head and they put it under the water
We did pretty good.
I don't think there's any more animals up
Hear
there.
the noises.
This is where
And
the
I
horses
found
and
a
the
lamp.
cows
It has birds painted on it, and I'm gonna put it in the chicken coop.
Oh, cool.
There's no reason why you can't artsy up and make a barn built like columns. So we need to replace the floor, but that's a big job. So it's a what's that?
It is a big job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we did it properly, we would have to take everything out. And we
You could
could
do a poured polished cement, might be good.
I'm thinking of just doing like a section,
Yeah.
something like cobblestone, like a design or
The
something.
animals. We will in a
So
Gotta
we
clean
have a
manure out
mason
of
up the road, and he's offered to help. So I just
chickens in
had to wait for the summer busyness to get done, and then we rip her up.
Round up. Around.
Yeah. They were. So this is where everything comes in. Went down to a barn that
I'd love to have a donkey.
You know what I want? A donkey!
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Don't.
That's Hannibal. He came from Quaker Oaks Farm in Toronto. The monks were releasing geese. And
I didn't see her. What is her?
I went outside, got it.
I will see them when we go towards the garden.
One angry geese here. Hello, Dottie. How you doing?
you're going in there, so you're going through the paddock, eh?
That's the only way to get there, man.
And ducks into Grenadier Pond, and it was supposed to be some sort of spiritual release, but they die over the winter time. So I get all the geese and ducks that they dump in Grenadier Pond, and he's one of them, but the other birds don't like him. And he used to chase people when we let him roam. He would chase them onto the top of the picnic table. So we had to lock him up. So this is where I keep my chickens. And I'm just going to move these. It's okay. Hi! lady was riding her bike in London, Ontario, in the middle of nowhere. And out of the ditch came Ernie and followed her home.
I don't know if he took edible or not because he doesn't.
We got the run-in bed.
Oh, okay. My sheep are from Guelph University. They were used for spinal taps and epidurals.
Not at its peak right now. I sort of stopped weeding about more than a month ago now because I just couldn't keep up with. I had a couple weeks of hay season, and then a couple other things happened, and parents went away, and it's just sort of overwhelmed me a bit. It's just me that does the gardening. So I have an acre here, and then just under an acre on the other side there, and I have a rotation, and I'm sort of experimenting. There's a lot of different. I learned from 2 farms that did row cropping, and so everything was in straight rows. They were horse-powered farms, so row cropping works really well in their situation. Where here, I did that for the first year and worked out nice, but it's very space intensive. Your rows are on 4-foot centers, and so you get a crop and then pass and then a crop, and it's just a lot of space to. So now I'm going to a 30-inch bed system that's I can get multiple crops in each sort of space, and so I'm actually growing almost 2 acres worth of vegetables on 1 acre. You can sort of see the rows in between the weeds. One thing I tried last year over winter was I started tarping. They call it occultation gardening. Anyway, so you tarp a section, it wipes the weeds out, wipes everything out within the first sort of half inch, and then you start fresh. There's no grass, there's no, like even the twitch grass, the ones with the rhizomus roots, wipes out that stuff. And so this section here is where I had the tarp, and I noticed a lot less weed pressure, which you can actually see sort of in this one little section here where the tarp was, as opposed to over here and over on that side. A lot less weeds, and I even had all this great clover come up in my pathways that I didn't plant, and there's no weeds there, and I don't know what happened, but I wanted to do that, and so like I was going to plant clover and other things, and it's naturally happened, so I'm going with it. I like that. The other thing I've been playing around with this year, I went to the EFAO, Ecological Farmers of Ontario conference last year, and there's a guy from Idaho that was playing around with pollinator strips in his gardens. So this was one of them. This is my earlier strip, and most of the flowers are gone from it, but you can see the cosmos and zinnias, and there's borage and phacelia and poppies, and we can go down here and look at it.
So you're just doing like hedgerows for beneficial insects as well, right?
Yeah. And so they're basically creating habitat for different beneficial insects, snakes, all sorts of stuff. So this was a later planting of my flower beds, and I've actually noticed quite an increase in the amount of like my squash being pollinated, my melons. I had tons of melons. It was a great melon year anyways, but I saw a lot more fruit happening in around my pollinator beds, which was part of the reason why I did it. And in the morning in the sun, you really, the bees are just all over it. Like it just, so I chose a lot of these plants because they attract those different insects. Yeah, no, it's really fun. It's really fun.
Bunch of barn squashes down here.
We can see if we can find one. They're really
Cool
small,
orange looking
but
squashes
yeah,
up here as well.
I was hoping to have them for my last weekend, and it's going to be.
It looks like he's got some Hubbards. I think they're Hubbard. And here, gotta try these one year. Pretty cool looking squash. Nice looking broccoli he's got here as well. I can't grow broccoli if I wanted to. Never grows. He's got his cover crops here. I think he said it was oats and peas. He's farming about 1 acre here, but he said he's growing about 2 acres worth of food here, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. There is a bigger one in here, I just can't find it at the moment apparently. You have to prove it at, I think it's 3 years. A relatively cheap seeder that can use a different plate slide in here. I don't have any out. I use this for seeding all my big seeds like beans, peas, just large beets even, because it does them better than my yang. And this one is a yang precision seeder, and I don't have the hopper here. There's a hopper that goes right here, and this seeder is worth the price tag. I mean, it's fairly expensive, but I can precision seed seeds, like I can adjust the gearing on here so I can seed them 1 inch, or if I want seeds every 5 inches, or if I can put seeds wherever I want them basically. And the hopper comes with these little seed plates, and you can get them custom made for your size of seeds and all that sort of thing. Excellent thing for small seeds. Doesn't do big seeds very well, so I have to sort of use 2